The AWARE project's aim is to balance the public conversation about psychedelics, spread accurate information, and give a new face to psychedelia. We feel that this change will occur through connection and relationship, one individual at a time. We are calling on everyone whose lives have been improved through the mindful use of psychedelics to educate themselves and become ambassadors for the psychedelic experience. Show those around you that people who use psychedelics mindfully cross all social, racial, economic, and political boundaries.
So welcome. This is a collaborative event between all of our different organizations here. So I'm going to just talk about the one that I'm in charge of, and then I'll pass the mic over. So the organization that I started about 3 years ago is called the AWARE Project, Rethinking Psychedelics. And we've been hosting monthly psychedelic awareness salons to educate the public about psychedelics and change the public conversation. So we've been having events from things like shamanism all the way to clinical science to out there artistic, creative, anything you can think of, just to kind of create a gathering space for people to share stories, learn more, and be able to have the education that they need to be able to be a responsible ambassador for the mindful use of psychedelics and plant medicines. So in the theme of this sort of open dialogue, but what we are creating here is also a safe space, but it is a public space. So we need to be mindful that we're not talking about buying, selling, or making any illegal substances. Please don't try and find shamans or facilitators in this space. We don't know if this is still the time of prohibition. And so we do need to be mindful that this is a public space. We don't know if they're undercover people or informants. So just be respectful of your neighbors. And if you hear of anyone else, overhear someone, or someone asks you one of these questions, please tell them of the etiquette and remind them that we are trying to create a safe space here for the community. But I do encourage you to share your stories about your experiences, maybe just not where you've done it or who you've done it with, but you do have the freedom of speech. But please be aware of that and keep our space safe. Community news. So next week on the 19th, we're going to be celebrating Bicycle Day, which is an annual celebration of the first time that Dr. Albert Hoffman had the effects of LSD and charged the Western culture into the psychedelic realm. And so the reason why it's called Bicycle Day was that he was working in his lab on LSD and got a little bit somehow in his system and started feeling a little bit funny, and so he decided to go home, and at the time it was during the war, World War II, and so he was bicycling home, and during his bicycle ride he started tripping, and he was the first person to trip on LSD. So that's why it's called Bicycle Day. And in the spirit of celebrating psychedelic science, we're having someone who was one of the participants of the phase 2 clinical trials of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy for the treatment of PTSD. And she's going to be talking about her experience of what it was like to go through the clinical trials. And for those of you that don't know, there is a site here in Los Angeles that is doing phase 3 clinical trials of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy for the treatment of PTSD, which is a mouthful. And we're looking like we'll be able to get MDMA rescheduled in about 2 years to be able to be legal MDMA-assisted psychotherapy. So it's really, really exciting. Yeah. So we'll keep you guys all posted on how that's going, and we're going to be talking about that a lot next week on Thursday back here again. So please come back. We're also going to have a friend, Reed, who does something called Harmonic Light, which he does these long exposure light paintings. And you can pose, and he puts this backdrop of all these crazy lights behind it, and so he'll be doing that, which will be really fun. So that'll kind of add to the festivities. All right, and then, I'm sorry, so many announcements this evening. And then the other organization that I co-founded a couple years ago is called Interspace Integration, and we do have flyers out front. But it was an organization that kind of sprung out of seeing what the community has needed, which is integration support, because a lot of people are having big experiences, especially with a lot of plant medicines. And sometimes people come through, bring their ceremonies, and then leave again, and then people are like, wait, what do I do with all this? And so we have monthly psychedelic integration circles for community members to just come share their stories, get support, and we have a whole network of people that are from therapists to body workers to acupuncturists to provide integration support from both a somatic and a sort of a cognitive perspective. So if you need any support or a little guidance on just whatever you're going through in your process, please come to either a group or reach out and get some extra support. So we're here to serve the community. All right, I think that's it, and I'm going to pass the mic along to these wonderful co-producers, and yeah, so thrilled to be doing this together.
Hi, my name is Brad Adams. I started a group called LAMPS, which is a Los Angeles Medicinal Plant Society. It's kind of a splinter group from the AWARE project. We meet usually the first Sunday of every month and get together, talk mostly scientifically related talks, but we kind of branch out a little more to different types. So if you're interested in joining the group, I didn't bring a sign-up sheet, but just give me your email address. I can hook you up for that. And also, I'm the chair of the planning committee for this LAPS conference, or the Los Angeles Psychedelic Science Symposium, which is going to be in June at UCLA. So June 22nd, 23rd, and we have a lot of the biggest speakers in the world coming for that. So tickets will be on sale hopefully this week. So go online for laps.org. You can purchase your tickets. It's half price for students. If you can prove you're a student, it'll be $40 a day, which we try to make this affordable to people who can't go to MAPS and pay $1,000 for housing and all that sort of stuff. So originally we were going to have it for free, but this is free still too. That's about it. So if anyone has any questions about either of those, I'll be sitting in the back there. So thank you.
Cool, thank you. So I'm the founder of I Am Life, and I Am Life is a nonprofit. We started originally with this idea of wanting to take a group of inner city youth to the Amazon so they can have direct relationships with indigenous people. What that turned into actually is a production company that produces events that are all ceremonial and all around bringing people together with indigenous culture, the idea of right relationship with plant medicines. So we do a series of events. What we're most known for is an event called Soul Circle that we do 3 or 4 times a year. And it's basically a public ceremony event. We replace the traditional sacraments with cacao and have amazing musicians that are all sharing conscious medicine music. So an offshoot of that, wanting to stay true to our mission statement of building relationships with indigenous people and highlighting the value of indigenous wisdom in the modern world, we started a series of events called Connections, and that's what one of tonight's events is. It's an opportunity to have a direct conversation with indigenous people, particularly the shamans or maestros, the teachers of those cultures, and ask questions directly, because as you know, with the incredible popularity of ayahuasca, there's also a lot of misinformation and a lot of Western ideas about what shamanism and plant medicine work is. So tonight is a beautiful opportunity, not only to learn directly from someone who's very credible, which we'll learn about, but also, this idea that these aren't like foreign people someplace that, are just romanticized. We really wanted to invite them into our community and start building relationships, which happens every time we do one of these events. Yeah, so the curator of our Connections events is David Daniel Brown, and he works with both of them are my assistants and all the work that I do, Cherie. So I'm going to invite them up, and they will introduce William to you. And I'm meeting him for the first time tonight too, so very excited. Cool, thank you guys. Yeah.
I just want to mention also that Ashley will be one of the presenters at the Labs conference, so make sure you come to that.
Before I do that, I want to invite Diana to just share a quick word about our tea lounge here in the back, which she's going to share about.
Hello everyone, how's everyone doing?
Well.
Needing a little tea. We'll have some tea ready for you in the back in a few, so while you guys are sitting down, you can get up really quick and get some tea and then come back. And then we'll be serving some tea afterwards too. The tea that we're sharing here today is guayusa, and it's an Ecuadorian leaf from the Amazon, and it's known as the botanical cousin of yerba mate. So if you're familiar with yerba mate, it's very similar to it, but slightly different in components. It contains more caffeine than yerba mate, but it also relaxes the nervous system and the body, so you get a really nice balance and sustained energy from the tea. And it also doesn't contain any tannins, so there's no bitterness in taste in comparison to yerba mate. And it's also been used traditionally for over 2,000 years by the Quichua tribes in the Amazon. And they've been using it just for its extensive list of health benefits. And also they use it to connect with their dream space. It's a tea that activates vivid dreaming and lucid dreaming, and it also helps to promote help with dream recall. So that's one of my favorite things about the tea. But yeah, just a really quick introduction to it. But if you have any questions, I could tell you more about it in the back after the event. Thank you so much.
She's also selling the tea if you like it and you want to get some of the tea. Her company's Warmy, her and her family, who are all from Ecuador, created this company, and they work with Iron Life quite a bit. So if you like it, you can also get tea from her. Thank you, Diana. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the lovely introductions, and I want to just invite Matthew and William up here to just be up here with us. And I just want to thank Matthew Stoltz for reaching out. I've known Matthew for about 5+ years. We used to live together back in the day for a little while, and yeah, come on up. And Matthew reached out to me a little while ago and shared with me about the amazing work he's been doing with William, and so immediately I felt like, yes, please, like we have this connections brand that we're wanting to evolve with the Wear project, the community's popping, like we're all coming together and building relations in a really beautiful way. And so I just want to first say thank you, Matthew, for reaching out, and also for all your work with William, and for doing all the legwork. Really, we've done a little bit to put this together, but Matthew has done a bunch to bring William here. So thank you, Matthew, for your support of William. And it's an honor to be able to learn. There's, as Tony said, there's romanticism and different ideas we have of what traditional Amazonian plant medicine is, even if that's not the word that some of us might use to refer to it. It's a word from Joe Tafur, who I really appreciate the groundedness of that term, and so it's really a gift in this time to get knowledge from the source. And so I just want to say muchas gracias to William Llerena, Murayari, for coming all the way from Peru, and that's it, just a lot of gratitude and thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who came and letting us be here. This is the culmination of about 10 or 11 months of praying. And William just told me today it's been his dream his whole life to come to America and come to California. He said that that's the dream of all the Latin Americans. He just wants to come and visit. He just wants to come and visit. He actually really likes living in Peru. And I understand why. I've spent about 7 out of the last 11 months with this man in Peru, dieting with him and healing. And the first time I worked with him, I was coming down with tuberculosis that I caught on the bus from the Colombian border to Quito. And I was getting really sick, and I thought, oh man, I'm ruined. Like, I'm in the jungle, I'm getting sick, I'm gonna barely survive, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna just tell everyone it's the worst place ever. Something quite the opposite happened, because I had some faith, and met William, and I was cured of tuberculosis. It just drained out of me, and then when I got back to the States, I was tested. I tested positive for the exposure, so I actually did catch tuberculosis and was getting sick, but actually never became ill. And recently I've been dieting with William and dieting some of the trees to I've had about from major accidents and injuries, from dirt bike accidents and car accidents, and then I was a woodworker in my previous life, and I was on my feet all day, and I had pretty constant, severe arthritic pain in most of my body, way too much for a really young man to have. And after dieting just recently with William, I've got very, very little pain, little tiny aches and pains. And when I'm sore, I go to sleep and I wake up and I'm good. And so I'm really grateful to William and just his love and openness and the beauty of his heart, and all the time we get to spend with his family, with his children, his wife and kids. And and meeting the jungle and meeting the plants through it. And realizing that the plants, you know, in some of these songs they say like the plants are our allies, and they really are. They're really our teachers, our allies, and when we make a relationship with them, they're really with us forever. And it's been really helpful to me to have someone to make those introductions for me. So thank you all so much for coming and giving us just an opportunity to share, and for William to sing some songs. This is going to be a little bit improvised on our end. It's been pretty tough astrology lately. I always try to be like, none of that actually matters. Like Mercury retrograde is like not a thing. But I've missed 6 flights in the last month. Had to like rebuy my itinerary twice. William's bag didn't arrive. They didn't let him take his guitar. And this afternoon I was like, maybe it's a thing. Maybe Mercury retrograde is a thing, and like I gotta like put a crystal on my neck next time it happens. And make an offering. I don't know. So anyways, we're here, and so. During the conversation at a couple points, like William's going to stop and probably add some songs. We're going to have a conversation probably for a half hour, kind of about William, his work, and there's kind of some things that we feel like are good things to talk about. And then we really want to hear questions. And we have an opportunity with William, someone who's from the jungle and who has been doing this work for a long time and working with the plants, and whose family worked with the plants and with the trees, to have an opportunity for people to ask questions about what's important for them to learn. And then William's going to rock out for a little bit to close things up. Because he's a healer and works with plants, but he's actually been playing music for 40 years, so he can do a few things.
Amazonía. Vengo del Amazonas,
I come from the Amazon,
selva del Perú,
the Peruvian jungle,
donde crecen las plantas medicinales,
where the medicinal plants grow,
donde todavía se respira aire puro.
where you can still breathe pure air.
La Amazonía es la esperanza,
The Amazon is the hope.
es el pulmón del mundo.
It's the lungs of the world.
muchacha, una flor en el río, el Amazonas uniendo destinos, va recorriendo caminos hacia el sol. Bajo el embrujo de un cielo dormido, una luciérnaga brilla encendida, mientras allá en la ribera una niña cantará. Así es mi tierra querida, un paraíso total, donde se puede soñar. Amazonía, un bello despertar de árboles gigantes que nunca morirán. Amazonía, tú eres mi pulmón, por ti, Amazonía, aún podemos respirar. Amazonía, un bello despertar de árboles gigantes que nunca morirán. Amazonía, tú eres el pulmón, por ti, Amazonía, aún podemos Sí, es una canción que es para mí como un himno a la Amazonía.
It's a canción, it's a song that William made, that's for where it comes from.
Habla mucho de el paraíso que tiene el Amazonas.
It speaks of the paradise that the Amazon has.
Despertar entre la jungla, entre la naturaleza es muy bello.
To wake up and
Una experiencia muy bonita.
to wake up and enter into the jungle.
Y cuando estás con la medicina, mucho más.
With the medicine even more. Wow, thank you, William. These songs don't get old. I've heard that one like 100 times. No, nunca parece viejo estas canciones. Lo he escuchado como siempre. Sí, puedes. Can you tell me where you're from? Puedes decirnos que de dónde vienes.
Bueno, yo vengo de mi casa, Perú. Soy de Perú, soy de Pucallpa. Pucallpa es parte de la selva peruana. Tenemos departamentos, dos departamentos, departamento de Ucayali, departamento de Loreto.
Yeah, so he's from.
Es todo Amazonia.
So there's two departments in basically states in Peru that William lives from, that he's talking about. And so he lives in the Ucayali, which is where Pucallpa is. And ¿de dónde naciste? Where were you born?
Bueno, nací en la cama de mi mamá. En un pueblo llamado Maquia.
In a little town in a little village se llama called Maquia.
Maquia es un pueblo muy pequeño.
It's a little village.
Me cuenta mi padre que ya murió y mi mamá también que vive ahora. Ella que el pueblo de Maquia era un pueblo de muchos curanderos tradicionales.
So his dad would always say, and who has passed, and his mother who's still alive, and who I know, that this is a town that had a lot of curanderos, a lot of healers. ¿Qué fue un tribu? ¿Es un pueblo indígena?
Es un pueblo. Es un pueblo nativo Soy, mi madre es nativa Cocama, es una etnia Cocama.
So his mother's from the Cocama tribe, which is actually not as well known, but William's mother's from the Cocama tribe, which, though not as well known, is actually a fairly large tribe in Peru, and they have a lot of curanderos and a very strong tradition.
Ese pueblo se caracterizaba por tener muchos hombres curanderos.
There's a lot of healers there, and it's known for that, this village.
Mis abuelos eran curanderos.
His grandparents were curanderos.
Mis tíos abuelos también.
his uncles and his uncle,
Entre ellos habían
are also curanderos.
Querían darse, pero por querer ser el mejor.
And they would do this to be better, and they would teach each other and work with each other. What kind of curanderos were they? ¿Qué tipo de curanderos eran tu padre, tus abuelos?
Mis abuelos, de parte de mi mamá,
my grandparents, my mother's parents.
Era más curandero porque eran ellos. Les gustaba dietar muchos palos, era palero, se llaman a los que dietan muchas raíces, cortezas y hojas medicinales.
So they were a type of curandero that is referred to as paleros, and palos are trees. And so they spent a lot of time in dieta with the roots, the bark, and the leaves of the different medicinal trees of the Amazon. ¿Cuántos palos hay? Medicinales.
Wow, hay muchos palos.
Casi todos. Casi todos son.
Casi todos.
Yeah, so there's a lot of trees in the Amazon, and almost all of them are medicinal.
Hay palos para paliar también.
Sí, and then there's trees to cut down that make stuff out of too.
Bueno, sí, casi todos los palos son medicinales. Hay mucha biodiversidad en la selva de Perú.
Yeah, there's a lot of diversity in Peru with the medicinal trees. And how did they work? ¿Cómo trabajar con los palos? ¿Cómo sanar gente? How did they heal
Los
people?
palos, la medicina natural es para prevenir las enfermedades. Si ustedes empiezan a dietar palos, es para prevenir. Por eso se llama anticancerígenos algunos. Uña de gato es anticancerígeno.
So he's saying that to diet trees is these trees are really good at creating a healthy life and preventing illnesses from happening. So when we say that a tree is anti-cancer, it doesn't mean that you need to have cancer for it to be good for you. It will prevent cancer from happening.
Por eso los antiguos, mis abuelos, mi abuelo de parte de mi madre murió cuando tenía casi 100 años.
So
99 años.
So his mother's father, his grandfather, lived to 99 years old. Y fue un viejo débil, was he an old weak man?
Un viejo muy fuerte.
He was really strong.
Muy fuerte.
¿Por qué murió?
De vejez.
Estaba cansado de vivir.
Cansado.
Yeah. Yeah, he was kind of tired of living, so
No puedo morir.
he would joke and say, "Oh man, I can't die."
Porque al dietar palos,
To diet trees,
te hace fuerte
they make you strong.
y cuando dietas, comes comida saludable.
And when you diet, you eat clean food, and you maintain a diet of clean food.
Frutas,
Fruit,
verduras,
vegetables,
mucho pescado.
a lot of fish.
Es lo mejor para mí.
Yeah, fish is the best part. I like fish a lot. Oh yeah, we had some trout today, so we got some river fish and some white river fish when we were here. ¿Y cuántos años tienes?
Yo tengo 54 años, ya pasé del siglo. 54 años.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. He's 54. Looks pretty good. Maintains himself pretty well, and this guy works really hard. on the side, he's working ceremonially probably about 200 nights a year. And then during the day isn't resting. He's up at... ¿A qué hora te levantas?
Bueno, cuando tengo ceremonias siempre a las 6 de la mañana.
Yeah, so he's always up at 6. And
Tenga o no tenga ceremonias, 6 de la mañana, ya no duermo más.
yeah, it doesn't matter. He's always got to get up at 6, and I'll come and visit him after I've like slept and had lunch and drank 3 coffees, and he will have like done like 2 paintings, gone and recorded music, picked his kids up from school, made a remedy for somebody, and it's like 2 p.m.
Por eso mi hijo me dice,
For this, my son says,
fregado de ser viejo, ya no duerme nada.
to become old, you just never sleep.
Porque muy temprano sé ya levantarse con mamá.
Yeah, so really early he's waking everyone up. So William, I want to know more about your grandparents and your parents and the sort of work that they did and how it might be different from how we think of how healers in the Amazon work. Yo quiero escuchar más sobre tus abuelos, tu padre y cómo sanar sus pacientes y cómo es diferente que fácilmente nos pensamos de eso.
La medicina tradicional,
The traditional medicine,
antiguamente los abuelos,
in old
los
times,
abus, solo ellos podían tomar la medicina igual.
so in those times and when his grandparents worked, they were the only ones that ever drank medicine.
Porque los pacientes que se iban eran realmente enfermos.
Yeah, and the people that came were like really, really deeply sick or really ill.
Mi abuelo tenía una casa muy grande. Antiguamente no habían habitaciones, era una casa libre, solamente mosquiteros.
So his grandfather had a big house, but there weren't rooms. It was all open, but then he had mosquito nets for each of his patients.
Y los pacientes adentro no salían, solamente el curandero se iba a ver cómo están, darle la comida, si querían ir al baño, los atendía, los llevaba, pero eran realmente enfermos.
Y estaban dietando.
Estaban dietando, pero ellos no tomaban ayahuasca.
So the patients would be in the mosquito nets, and they actually wouldn't leave unless they had to go to the bathroom. They'd be given their food, and they'd be given their remedy. And they wouldn't drink medicine, but his grandfather would go and check on them and see them, and with medicine kind of be able to know kind of how to help them better, and they would be dieting.
Pero sí tomaban medicina natural, los palos.
Yeah, but they drink the natural medicine.
Gato, chichuasi, renaquilla, ajo sacha.
Y estaban dietando esos?
Dietando.
So then they'd be dieting these trees and these plants to heal. Can you explain to me kind of about what it means to diet one of these plants? ¿Qué es una dieta? Como dietar para sanar de esas plantas, ¿qué es?
Una dieta es abstenerse de lo que más nos gusta.
The diet is how you obtain what you like.
Lo primero, sexo.
How you have to give up what you like. You don't get any sex in diet. I translate that for you. You have to get that up first and most importantly.
No sexo, no sal,
no salt,
no azúcar,
no sugar,
no cerdo,
no pork,
no ají,
no chili,
no ganado vacuno, carne roja,
no red meat. Y eso son dietas para sanar.
Sí, no pescado sin escama.
And no fish without scales.
Muy tradicional es.
More traditional.
En dieta es dar un pez que se llama boquichico, es de aguas dulces.
Yeah, so traditionally you're just given this fish called bocachico, which is a fish that you kind of love or you hate because it's got probably about 500 little tiny spines in it, and I've grown to really like it because I've usually been really hungry when it was given to me. But it kind of has an interesting flavor because it just basically eats the plants at the bottom of the water.
aparte de ser rico, mucho trabajo para comer.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to eat it.
Pero es muy saludable.
But it's very healthy.
¿Por qué se dieta? Porque la planta necesita curarte y que tú estés muy bien para recibir el poder y la sanación de las plantas.
So the diet is for a healing diet like this, it's to really prepare your body and prepare you in a way to receive the plant and to receive its ability, for the plant to be more able to heal you and connect with you.
Las plantas son maestras.
The plants are teachers.
Te enseñan
They teach you
y te curan.
and they teach you how to heal.
Muchos
And they
curanderos tienen experiencia de cómo sanan las plantas de uno mismo.
And a lot of curanderos actually know how a plant heals because of the ways that it has worked within them.
Muchos se han hecho curanderos porque han experimentado en ellos mismos
And
la medicina natural.
yeah, and a lot of people become curanderos or are curanderos because of the ways they've experimented with these plants at healing themselves. ¿Y qué más? Esa es una dieta para sanar. ¿Puede explicar cómo las dietas que yo he hecho contigo? Yeah.
Hay tres clases
Yeah,
de dietas.
and then maybe talk
Hay tres clases de dietas.
talk about the other types of diets.
Vamos suponiendo que sea chuchuasi. Chuchuasi es corteza del árbol.
So there's three types of diets. So for example, chuchuasi, which is it is the bark of a tree.
El chuchuasi se lo cocina en una olla
So you cook it in a pot
y se toma como té
and you drink it like a tea, like a remedy,
todo el día, según
all
a
day.
cuánto tiempo quieres dietar. En la selva dietan siempre algunas personas, de los que van de acá dietan 10 días, 12 días, 15 días, según al tiempo que están.
Yes. So you make an agreement. Hace un acuerdo con el maestro.
Sí.
Y con la
Con la planta.
So with your teacher, with the curandero, you make an agreement to a set period of time that you're going to die. So 10, 12, 15 days is common in his tradition because the diets are quite strict and you lose quite a bit of weight.
Es una dieta cocinada, se toma como té, solamente 1 litro diario.
So you drink a liter of very strong tea of this plant each day.
Durante todo ese lapso de tiempo que vas a dietar 10 días, pongamos,
So after
te
about 10
abstienes
days,
de todo. No tener contacto con la gente que no está dietando.
so you don't have any contact for that time with anyone who's
Muy
not dieting.
apartado, en la jungla es mejor.
It actually being as far away and in the jungle,
Te concentras, meditas mucho
and you concentrate and meditate within yourself,
y te compenetras con la naturaleza.
and you connect with nature,
Ese es
and
uno.
then nature connects with you.
Hay otra forma de dietar.
And there's another type of diet.
Ya, cuando tú estás dietando estas plantas, no, si tú has tenido algunas veces, no resistes la tentación.
Okay. And so there's another type of diet. ¿Qué estás diciendo? Otra vez.
Algunos no resisten la tentación de querer hacer algo. Han pasado muchos casos.
So sometimes people don't resist the
Muchos
temptation
no
to
han
do other things.
resistido tener sexo. Ceremonias o dietas han caído en el sexo. Y es cuando tú cortas totalmente tu dieta.
And so he's talking about when people break the diet.
No,
When people don't maintain the restrictions and then they say have sex or do something that crosses the dieta, como comer cerdo, comer sal.
No, claro. Si comes sal igual, si comes
So-
azúcar igual,
So if you have sugar or salt, it's the same kind of thing.
no actúa la medicina en ti.
So if you do that sort of thing, the medicine actually won't help you
No actúa porque ya
because you broke the connection.
sigues igual.
Y
Pero
pasa mal.
no te,
Algo pasa mal, ¿no?
no te pasa casi nada. Pero no te no hay ninguna reacción de medicina en ti.
Yeah, so-
Estás como nacido.
Yeah, so the rules of the dieta are what's actually necessary to maintain for the medicine to work and
Y
to
queda en tu conciencia.
stay in your conscience.
Claro. Ese es uno. La otra parte es las resinas.
And then another type of diet are the resins.
La planta es el árbol y recoger la resina como manchinga o
So-
como el ojé.
So, for example, ohe or manchinga. Ohe is used for parasites. Manchinga is used for really severe physical issues.
Es una resina
But it's
blanca.
a white resin,
Como
kind of like a latex.
Tú tomas manchinga, hay dos formas de tomar. Una sola vez para dietar 3 meses, una sola cucharada.
Cada día?
No, una
So
vez.
sometimes you'll just diet it for 3 months, and you'll just be started with literally a spoonful.
Y algunos dietan cada día unas gotas de manchinga en vaso de agua y 2 veces al día.
And then
Es
other
más
times
suave.
with manchinga, and this one's a little easier, you have a couple drops in a glass of water each, twice a day.
Si a esta lo has hecho errar la dieta, sí, te pueden salir cosas en el cuerpo.
Yeah, and things can, si cruza la
Se cruza la dieta.
And so with these, actually, if you cross the diet, you can have actually really bad physical reactions, and it can harm you physically.
No te cura o te puede hacer peor, te salen ronchas o te puede, le dicen cultivar la planta misma, puede llegar hasta la muerte.
Yeah.
Es muy fuerte.
Yeah, so manchinga actually is like one of the most powerful plants in the diet, and if you cross that diet, you can die. Pero no hablamos de la efectividad. ¿Cómo por qué dietas la manchinga? Why we want to diet the
La
manchinga?
manchinga es muy bueno.
The manchinga is
Es
really good.
para cosas de los nervios, algunas roturas del hueso.
So it can heal like fractures and damaged joints and parts of your body on a physical level.
Pero es
And
muy
through your
bueno.
nervous system. It's a really powerful medicine. People that have had very severe physical injuries can die of manchinga and it will heal it. And that's kind of how the power works on both sides. What sort of things have you healed? ¿Qué enfermedades has sanado? ¿Qué tipos de enfermedades, de condiciones tratas?
Mayormente he curado muchas experiencias como uña de gato, planta de la vida también, una resina que es muy fuerte.
So he's had many experiences curing with, for example, uña de gato
Chuchuasi.
and the plant of life, planta de vida, and chuchuasi,
Clavohuasca,
and
remequilla,
clavohuasca, ranequilla.
son plantas muy conocidas.
And these are well-known plants.
Conocidas y científicamente también.
And scientifically well known too.
Estudiado
They're studied.
y es muy bueno. Se han sanado muchos que sufrían, que estaba empezando el cáncer.
Yeah, these can heal cancer.
Ahora tratándose mi amiga cielo
Yeah, so actually a good friend of ours
con planta de la vida.
is dieting planta de la vida, planta de vida,
Ella
and
sí tiene un tumor cancerígeno en la espalda.
she has a huge pad. Well, actually, it's quite small now. But when I met her, she had a gigantic, like kind of soft, I don't know, like kind of an orange-sized tumor on her back that was black and green, and it kind of looked at you. And decía, how's Cielo? ¿Cómo está Cielo?
Está mejor.
She's pretty good.
Aparte de estar desapareciendo el tumor,
It's gotten
ha
quite
bajado
small,
15 kilos.
and she's lost 15 kilos. She's lost about 35 pounds dieting. Yeah, she's happy.
Mucho mejor, sonriente, mucha energía. Buena mujer.
Mhm.
Es como mi madre.
Yeah, she's like his mom. And Carol's like too. Mhm.
Did he just pick up his training growing up, or was there a period of official training and initiation?
Yeah, that's thank you, Tony. So Tony ha preguntado que ¿aprendiste todo de su entrenamiento cuando estaba creciendo con tus abuelos? ¿O has entrenado en otro tiempo?
Sí, he entrenado en otro tiempo.
So he actually did his training at another time.
He visto cómo mis abuelos curaban cuando era pequeño, porque mi mamá y mi papá me dejaban como mis abuelos.
So he was left with his grandparents all the time. So he got to grow up with it and see how they did
Porque
everything.
mis abuelos solamente me podían soportar.
Yeah, so his grandparents actually had him support and help. ¿Y tus abuelos cantan?
Sí, mi abuelo fue músico.
His grandfather actually was a musician.
Y yo tengo la herencia de... Yo no he estudiado música.
He never actually studied music.
Y tampoco pintura.
Yeah, he never studied art
Mi
either.
maestra es ayahuasca.
And the medicine taught him how to paint.
Was there a period when, like, did they actually have to at some point say, you have permission to work with people, or at some point he just like, I'm going to start killing people? I'm just because every culture is different.
Yeah, so we can ask him, but I can also just fill in that little bit. So William learned from them, but he didn't receive like training from them.
Right.
Sí, después de tu juventud no estabas entrenando, en tu juventud no estabas entrenando a ser curandero. You were training to be a curandero.
No estaba entrenando.
Y
Yo
mucho
empecé a
tiempo.
los 21 años. Yo era maestro de artes.
So he was actually an art teacher for about 21 years.
Y estaba en una iglesia protestante.
In actually a Protestant church, you worked as an art
He
teacher.
aprendido mucho ahí también,
And he learned a lot there too.
muchos valores.
And a lot of
Pero
good values.
soy único de mi familia, de parte de hijos de mi papá y mi mamá, el único que estoy en el camino del curanderismo.
So actually out of 12 brothers and sisters, he's the only one that followed the path of being a curandero. ¿Y cómo empezó eso? Porque, so how did this start? He didn't, there was actually a long gap. He was familiar as a kid, and then there was a time at which his actual training started with his maestros. ¿Cómo empezó con encontrar tus maestros?
En Perú, un momento, en Perú hay mucha gente que no conoce la medicina en sí.
In Peru, there's a lot of people that actually don't know the medicine or know of it.
Tienen todo a la mano, pero no quieren dietar.
They have everything at their hand, but they don't want to diet.
Son muy débiles al sexo. Eso es lo que más.
In Peru, especially, he says that people are really weak in their resistance to
No saben
sex.
dietar.
And so they
Prefieren
don't want to
tomar
diet,
pastillas
and they want to take pills.
calmantes. Al hospital, ya al doctor, ya da una pastilla, wow, perdí sangre. No,
Yeah, so saying that most people like just kind of wanting things to be easy. They want to take pills and receive the calmantes to stop whatever the symptom is and forget about it. That doesn't actually heal. Habla de Don Jose.
Sí, yo encontré a Don José Campos, que
So
es muy famoso.
He met Don Jose Campos.
Famoso Don José Campos es mi primer maestro.
That was his first
Hace
maestro.
21 años.
21 years ago. Su primer maestro también.
¿Ah, sí?
De Tony.
Ah, sí. Somos dos.
Yeah, let's go. Also 21 years ago?
Almost? Yeah.
Sí,
Yeah.
Casi el mismo
Casi mismo tiempo.
Casi el mismo tiempo. Sí, empezamos en Rinquía, un sitio en la selva.
So they started in a site in the jungle
Y
called
él
Rinquía.
es mi compadre, muy buenos amigos también.
Yeah, so they're actually really good friends.
Y luego trabajé con Rony Rengifo.
And later he worked with Rony Rengifo.
Rony Rengifo, también muy famoso aquí en Estados Unidos.
He was also a pretty well-known curandero.
Él más viene acá casi todo el tiempo.
Sí. ¿Qué pasó tu primera vez? ¿Cómo encontrás la medicina?
Esto era un caso muy raro, porque
For him it was a thing
yo
pretty strange.
como toda la gente en Perú, piensa que el que toma ayahuasca es un brujo.
You think like a lot of people in Peru think that like the people that drink ayahuasca are like doing
Es la
witchcraft.
realidad. Todos dicen, el brujo es Satanás, diablo.
Sí, it's like satanic, it's scary.
Es lo que piensa la gente.
Yeah, and estabas,
Entonces yo venía de una religión protestante.
and he was coming from a Protestant religion at the time, and they were like very
Yo tocaba mi charango
the medicine.
en la vereda de mi casa porque en mi pueblo, en la vereda, en la calle tocábamos. La gente pasa y José Campos pasaba.
So he was just playing music, and Jose Campos passed.
Y me dice, wow, tocas el charango. Yo tengo muchos instrumentos, pero no sé tocar.
Yeah, so Jose Campos saw William playing music and was like, oh, you play charango? I have a bunch of instruments, but I don't know how to play anything.
Entonces me dice, ¿tú puedes enseñarme charango?
And then so he says to William, like, will you teach me to play charango?
Claro, si me pagas,
Sure.
me puedes enseñar.
Yeah, if you pay me, of course.
Ok, entonces vamos a mi casa, me llevó a su casa y tenía las flautas así, mesa lleno, 3 charangos, ukulele, tambores.
Sí,
Wow,
what's a-
pero este no es músico y tiene más que yo.
So we went to Don Jose's house, and Don Jose had all these flutes, he had 3 charangos, he had all these drums, and he's like, wait, you're not a musician, you got all these things, like, what's going on?
Y bueno, le enseñé un tiempo, yo era profesor en ese entonces, y me dice, ¿tú quisieras viajar a mi chacra?
Do you want to, so then Don Jose was like, well, do you want to travel with me to my land?
Y yo antes que sea profesor, yo trabajaba cuando era muy joven, trabajaba en los albergues en el Amazonas para hacer música popular, hacer bailar a la gente, para no aburrirse.
Yeah, so for a long time, like, for about the 20 years actually before this point, William was a musician, and he taught music, but he would just play in bars, he would play at weddings and dances, he just played music.
Y yo lo acepté.
And so, anyways, he decided to accept
Y yo
the offer,
estaba-
because he thought he was being invited to just play some music and bring the party.
Estaba en vacaciones de la escuela,
So he was in vacation from the school,
lo seguí a Renquía, un sitio muy bonito para hacer las dietas.
so he traveled to Ranquilla, where a beautiful place where they do the diets.
La primera noche no hicimos, la segunda noche me dice, vamos a tener una ceremonia. ¿Qué ceremonia?
So the first night nothing happened, second night, Don Jose
Vamos
said,
a tomar ayahuasca, me dice.
we're gonna have a
Yo lo
ceremony.
dije, no me asusté, pero en sí yo por dentro estaba muy asustado.
So William, he said, hey, Don Jose told him we're gonna drink medicine, and William didn't show that he was really scared, but like inside he was like actually very, very scared.
Y entre mí decía, ¿en qué me he metido? Dios mío.
And he's like, wow, please help me.
Sí, ¿en qué me he metido? ¿Vas a tomar? Sí, voy a tomar. Pero él decía, ya estoy acá, ¿qué voy a hacer?
He's like praying on, he's like, well, I guess I'm here, like what am I gonna do?
Hicimos como 20 personas.
So we made a ceremony with about
Estaba
20
con
of
mi
us.
guitarra, mi charango, José Campos aquí, todos tomaron, me dio una copa.
So everybody drinks in
Todos
that
estaban.
decided Don Jose.
Yo estaba ahí mirando.
Yeah, everyone else is all happy and it's so beautiful. And he was
Ayuda, que
just
no me
looking at him.
agarre como él.
He was just saying, God, please help me.
¿Y qué pasó? No me hizo nada.
And nothing happened. He didn't.
Todos estaban muy metidos con la medicina, yo no.
And everyone else was really in the
Y
midst.
José Campos me dice, ¿está fuerte? No siento nada.
And Jose Campos asked him, hey, is it strong? And he says, I don't feel
Lo has
it.
bloqueado, me dicen.
You're blocked, he
¿Cómo lo
said.
voy a bloquear? Yo no sé bloquear.
No, what does that mean? I don't know what it means to be blocked. What are you talking about?
Pero en sí pedía, ayúdame, que no me vaya a agarrar.
Yeah, but he was praying the whole time, like, oh God, please help me, please don't let it be strong.
Bueno, toma un poco más, me dice. No.
So he said, drink a little bit more. It's like, no.
A la siguiente ceremonia,
Then the next ceremony,
él me dio una copa más grande.
he gave him a bigger cup.
Tomé y
He drank it. And then he
me metí a un árbol y era un palacio. Y tengo una experiencia muy lindo, hasta ahora lo recuerdo. Era como salirme de, wow, de un escondite y abrir los ojos.
and
Y
he
estaba muy metido en el árbol, en las plantas.
And so, but in his vision, he saw this great, beautiful tree, and it was like a palace. It had palaces in it.
Y estaba muy mareado,
And he
muy
was
feliz.
really happy and very strong in the medicine.
No me agarró fuerte para ahorcarme,
It didn't scare him. It didn't make him go crazy.
sino fuerte, con mucha luz, muchos colores y
It was a lot of light and colors and happiness.
Y me dice José Campos, canta.
And Jose is like, sing now.
Que canto, lo que quiera.
And what do I sing? Whatever you want.
Y eso es mi primera canción de mi experiencia.
So this was his first.
Cuando yo hice esta canción, apareció solamente un árbol, ceiba, que se llama la lupuna blanca.
So, and when he began to sing this, he had a vision of this great tree called the Lupuna Blanca, which is one of the biggest trees in the Amazon.
Y cuando yo hacía,
So he just started playing this.
había un hombre, la cara de un anciano en la copa del árbol,
So in the crown of
y
the
con
tree,
el rostro muy triste y lloraba mucho, salían lágrimas de los ojos y de las hojas del árbol caían gotas. Y yo estaba mirando
so
eso.
he was looking at a vision of this tree, and in the crown of the tree there was this great face of an ancient one, a very powerful ancient spirit, and he was crying. And tears were dropping from the leaves of the tree as well.
Miré hacia abajo, habían plantas cortadas, un desierto quemado donde salía humo, con caras muy tristes de árboles.
And then he saw the ground. In the ground there were all these plants and trees that had been cut down and being burned, and it was like a desert.
Y yo sentí en mi corazón mucha tristeza.
And he felt just so much
Mi
sadness.
primera vez supe valorar las plantas, supe valorar la jungla.
And he really valued the plants and the jungle and to care for it.
Porque son espíritus, no son personas, son espíritus, pero que sienten.
He saw that all these plants that make up the jungle are actually spirits that feel.
Y esa es esta canción.
And this
No
is the
tiene
song that
letra,
came. It didn't have any words.
pero dice mucho y se llama Lamento de la Selva.
And it's called the Lament of the
Lamento de la Selva quiere decir tristeza de la selva.
It wants to share the sadness of the jungle.
Cuando yo terminé,
When I finished,
había un hombre en mi lado, Sven, el novio acá de Estados Unidos,
there was actually an American guy to his
del
left.
lado, y lloraba y lloraba mucho.
And he was
Después que yo
crying so
terminé
much.
así, me abrazó. Muchas gracias.
He hugged him and said, "Thank you.
Estoy sano del corazón.
I'm healed in my heart."
Así le digo, porque
And so he asked,
Porque mi
why?
papá, mi mamá murió, nunca he llorado.
He said, because my mom and my father died and I
Tenía
never
un
cried.
corazón muy duro
I
de
had a
piedra.
really strong
Quería llorar
heart
y no podía.
of
Y ahora
stone.
escuchando tu bendita voz, yo estoy llorando.
And then when I heard this, your song, I started crying.
Que la ayahuasca está saliendo por tus ojos.
The ayahuasca was coming out of your eyes.
Pero él, muy bien.
But he was very good.
Es mi primera experiencia con ayahuasca.
That was his first time, his first experience with that medicine.
No había letra, y me decían canta, no sabía qué hacer, hacía.
And he said, sing, you couldn't think of any words.
Ah, y yo estaba muy alto y
And really high.
bueno, no olvido la experiencia. Era como que nacido de nuevo.
So that song came from the ayahuasca.
Yeah, yeah. Es un buen tema. That's a good thing to talk about. So, hay los canciones de la ayahuasca. There's the songs that come from medicine. Can you talk about? ¿Puedes explicar sobre los icaros, las canciones de música, las canciones de medicina? Can you talk about the icaros? Can you talk about the medicine
que
songs?
sale cuando tú estás, los antiguos, los tradicionales,
So traditionally, the ancient ones,
curanderos,
the
no
ancient
eran
healers,
músicos.
none of them were musicians.
Ellos cuando estaban en trance con la medicina,
When they were in trance and died,
sacaron sus ícaros,
they received the icaros.
inspiración de la misma planta que venía a ser ellos.
The plant would come in, would give them the inspiration and give them the songs.
Ese es muy buenos ícaros.
And this is behind the really good
Se
girls.
siente cuando estás en ceremonia, los ícaros.
You can feel when you're in ceremony.
Ahora, y que yo tengo mucha práctica, hay canciones que no recuerdo.
Yeah.
Ícaros que no recuerdo, pero cuando estoy con la medicina, vienen de nuevo y empiezo a cantarlos.
Yes.
Y muchas veces improviso las canciones porque viene a mi mente la inspiración de la planta.
So a lot of the icaros he actually can't remember. You know, we can't ask him to sing some for us because he only remembers them when they come through the medicine. And he improvises a lot of them, and improvises a lot of songs musically that they are just what comes through.
Son los verdaderos ícaros.
And these are the true ones.
Para que salga un ícaro, a ver, voy a cantarle al chuchuasi.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Real icaros, you don't like. I'm gonna sing about Chuchuasi and start writing something down.
Salen muchas canciones así del momento.
The songs come from the
Y
moment.
hay canciones de medicina,
And then there's the medicine songs.
que es una canción de medicina que habla de la ayahuasca.
So here's.
Sombrita de flor azul, limpia mi vida con tu poder. Chacronita, mahancuna, pinta las visiones con tus colores. Quiero vivir libre como el viento y poder volar por el firmamento. Quiero sentirme en libertad. con tus colores. Quiero vivir libre como el viento y poder volar por el firmamento. Quiero sentirme en libertad. Quiero vivir mi libertad. Ayahuasca mamancuna, chacrunita mamancuna, cura cuerpecito, limpia espiritito. Quiero vivir libre como el viento y poder volar por el firmamento. Quiero sentirme en libertad. Quiero vivir mi libertad. Ayahuasca mamancuna, chacrunita mamancuna, pinta las visiones. Ayahuasca, ayahuasca mamancuna. Quiero vivir libre, libre como el viento. Hoguita de flor azul es el ayahuasca.
It's the Sogita de Flor School is the ayahuasca one.
Habla mucho de la libertad como el viento.
It sings about the freedom
Es
of the
una
land.
canción de medicina,
It's a song of the medicine.
comparando con las ícaros. Tengo un ícaro que es con guitarra. Ayahuasca imán, taki taki muy. Ayahuasca imán, taki taki muy. Cura, cura y luna, fuertecito y luna. Cura, cura y luna, fuertecito y luna. Chacrunita y mama, taki taki muy. Chacrunita y mama, taki taki muy. Cura, cura y luna, fuertecito y luna. Cura, cura y luna, fuertecito y luna. Moving sana y mama, taki taki muy. Moving sana y mama, taki taki muy. Cura, cura y luna, fuertecito y luna. Cura, cura y luna, fuertecito y luna. Yawarbangai mama, daki-daki mo ini. Yawarbangai mama, daki-daki mo ini. Ura-uray luna, berpesito ay luna. Ura-uray luna, berpesito ay luna. Siya'y mama, taki-taki mo ini. Chuchua siya'y mama, taki-taki mo ini. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Kay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Klamoas kay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Renaki-ay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Renaki-ay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Toecito ay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Toecito ay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Sanangito ay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Sanangito ay mama, taki-taki mo ini. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna. Ura-uray luna, cuerpecito ay luna.
That's a
Los ícaros son muy
with guitar.
simples. Es el lenguaje de las plantas.
The Icaros are actually tend to be really simple. It's the language of the plants, but it's very profound.
Hay una diferencia y también con la maraca son simples ícaros, pero cuando estás con medicina lo sientes al ícaro.
Yeah. When
Y
you
también canciones muy
So William's gonna sing another song, a happy song, and then we're gonna take some, and then we're gonna. I mean, we'll just let him keep playing, and then we'll save some time for questions. Yeah.
Hay una canción que canto siempre antes de terminar o después de 3 o 4 horas. poder ayahuasca, poderosa ayahuasca, cura, cura ayahuasca, limpia, limpia ayahuasca, la medicina, la medicina, la medicina. Ayahuasca, 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 la medicina, la medicina, la medicina. Ayahuasca chagruna, ayahuasca chagruna, pinta, pinta las visiones chagruna, con colores de la tierra chagruna, con colores de las aves chagruna, con colores de las plantas chagruna, la medicina, la medicina, la medicina. Ayahuasca, 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 la medicina, la medicina, la medicina, la medicina.
Thank you so much, William. We have just a little bit of time, so let's take some questions. Okay.
So I've always been curious if there is a perspective to be shared on the difference between a preparatory dieta for working with ayahuasca, like let's say just to do a ceremony, not a dieta, just with ayahuasca, versus the intention of a dieta and the restrictions for having a relationship with a master plant that's other than ayahuasca.
Okay. Él está preguntando de un tema que nos hablemos para que veamos de la diferencia entre cómo gente hacen algunos ayunas antes de para preparar para una ceremonia o una fin de semana, la diferencia de esto y de una dieta para conocer una planta maestra.
Hay mucha diferencia. Vamos a tener ceremonias, antes de ceremonia, solamente ceremonia, no se dieta mucho.
Sí.
Solamente puedes dietar un día a comer cosas suaves antes de ir a una ceremonia.
Before a ceremony, you know, it's not like a diet. It's good to just kind of have some clean food and eat gentle food.
Verduras, frutas, no mucha sal,
Not a lot
comidas
of
muy
salt,
suaves.
but gentle foods.
Mejor no carnes.
Best of no meat. And this is porque
Porque a la medicina le gusta eso. Si tú te vas con muy pesado la barriga, wow,
if you have a headache,
te vas a inflar mucho y la medicina te va a sacar el ancho.
yeah, the medicine's going to take that all out. It doesn't like it. But you know, it's you kind of it's good. What he's saying is it's good to just kind of eat lightly before ceremony. Is if you're just going to do a ceremony and gently because the medicine likes that.
Te sientes muy mal.
But if you eat much heavy stuff, you might not feel good.
No es bueno.
Eat.
Pero una dieta
But a diet,
sí, pues vas a tomar las plantas.
You're
Aparte de ceremonias,
you're going to take plants apart from the ceremony.
estás tomando una planta maestra
You're taking your master plant.
donde vas a aprender y te va a curar.
And from that plant, you'll learn and you'll be healed.
Te compenetras mucho más.
And
Mucho más.
it enters into you. And necesita un maestro. El maestro es importante.
Sí, claro, el maestro es importante porque vas a recibir la energía del maestro, la enseñanza, es el que te va a cuidar. todo. Tienes que tener a alguien que te cuide, que te guíe.
And the maestro is really important. Or the maestro is what is a big part of the dieta because you're getting their energy and their care. You're in their care. Porque una dieta no es cualquier cosa. Estás muy sensible.
Muy sensible.
A diet isn't kind of like a whatever thing, or I'm just not eating salt for this time. It's kind of the spiritual space where you're extremely sensitive, where you are connecting with the plant, and so having the teacher, the maestro being someone that's caring for you and giving you the energy during that time is really important.
Si tú estás, por eso una dieta tienes que hacerlo muy apartado de la ciudad, muy apartado de la gente que no tiene nada que ver con medicina.
Yeah.
Solo.
So it's really important, like if you're in dieta, to not be in a city and to not be around people that aren't dieters, that aren't also maintaining a dieta.
Porque vas a tener muchas tentaciones.
Because you're going to have a lot of temptation, also the energy is not quite harmonious with like
Sí, porque estás sensible. Estás
because you're
sensible
very
a todo.
sensitive.
Wow, vas a mirar una comida ahí que está comiendo el otro. Wow. Sí. Vas a ver una chica por ahí. Wow. Entonces, estás sensible. Porque las plantas, cuando tú tomas las plantas, te sensibilizan también al sexo. Te calienta, sí, porque algunas las personas en mi tierra mayormente toman plantas para tener fuerza sexual.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny, and well, I think we have a lot of sub-questions about this topic that hay muchos preguntitos sobre este tema. Okay. But what I'm saying is actually, you know, that temptation is really important to be a part because these plants actually really activate your vitality and your energy, and you feel a lot of strength there. And then people who aren't dieters, actually a lot of people take all these different dieta plants, and they take them in bars. They make drinks out of them for aphrodisiacs out of most of these plants because these plants are really powerful and they make you strong. Vamos a preguntar sobre, hay como 4 más preguntitos. Are these questions all about the same subject?
Yeah, this is not so much a question. I just wanted to thank you. That one of the things we like to focus on when we have these events is demystifying a lot of misconceptions people have in the West, and one of the major ones is people collapse the dieta with ayahuasca ceremony.
Yeah.
So they're always asking us, you know, well, I'm following the dieta. Like, what dieta are you following?
Tony está diciendo que eso, él le gusta mucho para clarificar las misconcepciones que la gente tiene acá. Y mucha gente piensa que antes de ceremonia, estoy en dieta, pero es
para prepararse.
Es una mezcla de ideas, de poner una idea de dieta que para solo no es una dieta.
No es una dieta.
Not necessary.
Yeah, it's not. No es necesario.
Es prepararte, no es necesario. Es prepararte, puede ser un día antes, no comer cosas pesadas, nada más.
Solo un día.
Sí,
un día,
sí,
2 días, 3 días. Mucho. But he's saying that really it's the day of.
Un día, tomar desayuno, tu almuerzo y suave y irte a la dieta. Te vas a sentir bien.
Yeah, you just that day of, you just you like breakfast, you like lunch.
Bueno, si tú quieres hacer tu dieta solo, hazlo, pues y vete. Si te sientes mejor así, hazlo.
Okay. I saw Annabelle's hand up for one.
I'll say it in English and I can say it in English. I'm really interested in more knowing what was the process like for you actually in coming to choosing who you were going to do this with, because especially especially right now because the medicine is being used in ways that there's not integrity there as well. So what would you offer as a guidance for people who are wanting to seek the wisdom of the plants, but with so much interference, you know, like what are the things to...
How to find a teacher with integrity, or what was important to me in finding a teacher. And ella está preguntando qué es importante yo para escoger mi maestro. Y, so for me, there's a bunch of things. First of all, I was going to diet with someone else when I landed in Peru, and pretty much the person I respect the most in this path met me in Pucallpa that day, and I almost never get to see this guy. And he's Spanish, and he brought me to William. He's like, no, you're going to come to ceremony with us. And I was coming down, and I was really sick. I thought I'd gotten tuberculosis on the bus. That's what came in my mind as this old lady was coughing on me, and I felt just like some bad energy, and I kept getting sicker, and and I felt in my heart, like, oh man, I'm screwed, and then my heart's like, trust where you are. And I felt when he sang to me, it all clear, and I began to get better, and then I broke open and cried for like 4 hours, and like the first 4 times I sat with him, I just kind of broke open and cried at the beauty of it all, of finding my teacher, because I left to the jungle to really find my teacher and the person I was going to die with. I kind of closed up my life here, and I kind of had a real sense of, I wanted someone who could heal, and someone who could provide a connection to the plants in a good way, and that I wanted to be with. So I actually gave William my golden eagle feathers. That was like my most special sacred thing, as kind of that token of like, okay, this is a sacred relationship I'm asking for here. And what I look for, or what I think is really important, and as I see myself pursuing this path and my own desire for really the right wife and partner, and having been abstinent for now exactly 2 years, having been abstinent, which is hard, was wanting someone who really loved their wife and children, and was really committed to that and their family, and had that as a basis. And then it was for me hearing the way that we prayed. He prayed the way that I prayed when he opened and closed ceremony, and but it was just kind of like I knew, like I was healed miraculously, just because he didn't stop and like give me a healing. He just was going around the room, but the energy healed me, the medicine healed me, and then the relationship it's been really good. It's someone I really like spending time with, and the relationship is the one that I can invest years and years of my life with and feel really good about. Yo decía que como yo escogí a ti es porque me sanas de tuberculosis primera vez, y yo introducido por Abraham. Y también yo estaba buscando que necesito un maestro que tiene un compromiso muy fuerte con su esposa y a su familia, y vivir bien. Y también tú rezas como yo, con la madre y padre, y con amor y conexión a Dios, y un compromiso a Dios. Pero la mayor parte yo sentí la energía, la conexión. So yeah, it's all these things, but really it's just I felt it and I knew, that this was my teacher.
Es importante saber con quién irte.
Yeah, it's really important to know.
Muchos en la selva y muchos en la plaza ven, como decimos allá los gringos, soy curandero, soy curandero.
Yeah,
wow.
There's a lot of people trying to grab you and tell you they're...
Hay que saber, como dice Matthew, es un compromiso, es una disciplina.
Yeah, you want to see someone who has commitment.
No somos santos, tenemos nuestras debilidades y nuestros deseos también.
Yeah, and remember that curanderos, the shamans aren't saints. They have their weaknesses and they have desires too.
Y a veces por estar con la medicina tenemos disciplina.
But you need people with discipline.
Ya, yo tengo mi esposa, aguántate un poco. Ya, no te da la dieta.
And he's got a wife that gives him space until he finishes the diet.
Porque si tanto los pacientes que están dietando y el maestro, el curandero, también tiene que dietar. Disciplina.
Yeah, and
quizás no dieta a los palos, porque ya uno ya se ha dietado mucho, ¿no? Pero no abstenerse de sexo, que es lo más importante.
Yeah, and you need a maestro that'll maintain some diet for you when you're in diet.
No hacer cosas indebidas. Cosas indebidas.
Yeah. And was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, solamente le quería preguntar a usted como maestro, ¿qué es lo que recomienda cuando alguien va a la medicina? ¿Qué es lo más importante de saber con quién uno va a sentarse con la medicina porque como dijo, hay mucha distorsión, hay mucho ahorita, la medicina es muy popular,
Sí.
entonces es lo que yo estaba preguntando, como si alguien quiere venir a la medicina, ¿qué es lo más importante que hay que saber antes de sentarse?
So what she just asked was what's the most important to look for
Conocer a
before you
la
sit with someone.
persona. Preguntar a alguien con qué maestro puede decirte.
And ask other
Porque
people.
muchos, aparte, bueno, no son borrachos. La mayoría.
There's
Se
a
va
lot
a
of
la
difference.
ceremonia medio borrachos y están. No, es verdad.
Yeah, no, it's actually true in the jungle. There are people that will be drunk and doing
No hay
ceremonies.
disciplina en ellos. No hay.
Yeah, so
Yo era borracho,
you used
pero
to drink
antes,
too
mucho antes.
before
Ahora no.
you came on the path.
Nada de lo que es licor y no cigarro tampoco conmigo.
Yeah, he doesn't
Solamente
drink
para
now.
soplar algunas veces a los que desean mapacho para limpieza, nada más.
Yeah, and he actually very rarely uses tobacco in a ceremony, only when it's really absolutely necessary. But William used to, for 20 years, was like bringing the party to the wedding, to the bars, all that. That was what he did.
Y estar en la luz se da cuenta cuando estás en la luz. Hay dos caminos. En el chamanismo hay dos caminos, la luz y la oscuridad. Les cuento una experiencia. Yo estaba muy mareado cuando era con Rony y wow, vino alguien aquí, una luz, wow, qué hermoso, mucha luz. Pero de acá salió un hombre como chivivo, wow, me dice, ¿qué haces aquí? Estás perdiendo tu tiempo, sígueme por acá.
So what William's saying. So William was just saying that in the medicine there actually appears two paths, and there's a path of light, and that's very beautiful, and that's a big part of why I picked William and his teachings about things, and always putting all the energy there, not even worrying about anything on the other side. Is really what he's taught me, and never really feeling it or like, oh, how do I just the energy's all and the focus going on that way, on that side. And then there's the darker path, and he's actually felt people trying to grab him when he was young and trying to pull him on another path, or saying that there's the other way. What was Ilan?
Yeah, I'm curious. When one sits with the medicine and they're having visions of events taking place in the future.
Cuando una persona está tomando la medicina y tenía visiones del futuro.
My question is, why does one receive these visions, and is it coming from a place of ego, a fantasy, or maybe these are is this something that you have to listen to? And I'm curious if you yourself have ever received visions of the future that came to take place, or were you ever told to do something that you did?
Sí, él tiene guianza sobre recibiendo, cuando una persona recibe la visión del futuro, es que para saber si es una cosa para hacer, es una fantasía, es de ego, o es importante hacer acción. Y tienes ejemplos de tu vida que cuando has tenido visiones del futuro y pasa.
Es muy fácil de saber si es ego o no es ego.
It's really easy to know if it's ego or not ego.
Y si tú vas a realizar en el futuro algo bueno que se va contigo a ayudar y es de medicina, realízalo.
If it's something, if you're being shown something beautiful where you're going to help and do good, do it. Go do it.
Si crees que es el futuro, una visión al futuro, pues, wow, esto tengo que hacerlo.
You have to go do it.
Tengo que hacerlo.
If it's a good future.
Yo les cuento una experiencia.
He's going to share a
Yo
story.
tengo una hija
He has a daughter.
que mucho tiempo no lo veía.
That
La mamá no me quería ver.
that he didn't get to see.
Pero yo quería verlo a mi hija.
The mother wouldn't let him see her.
Entonces, ¿qué pasó? En mi visión, wow, le vi a mi hija que viene con la abuela
And
y me entrega.
his daughter came.
Es tu hija. Y me fui al encuentro, lo agarré, lo abracé en mi visión y me quedé contento.
And it made him really happy.
Entonces, ¿qué pasó más adelante? Tal como yo he sentido, no me fui en el camino a encontrarlo, pero sí, nos encontramos, me fui a su casa, hablé con la abuela, con la mamá, y muy feliz, me recibieron. Yo tenía mucho miedo de irme a hablarlos porque siempre había muy buen contacto con ellos, me esquinaban ver la misma, pero llegó muy bien. Perdí ese temor y lo realicé de contactarme, de comunicarme con mi hija para yo estar muy bien.
Yeah, so like
Mira,
he was able to be with his daughter in the future.
Y tenía que hacerlo. Y salió muy bien todo.
And everything happened good.
Si tú ves algo para el futuro, crees que está bien, es discernir si está bien o está mal.
You have to decide. Just feel, is this good or is this
Si
bad?
es una cosa muy buena que tienes que realizar, hazlo.
If it's a thing, if it's a beautiful thing,
¿Crees que no
that you
está
have to do,
bien?
then you gotta do
Hoy
it.
sigo, mejor.
Yeah, if it's not good or if it's something you can see is for your ego, then probably leave it. So we got 5 minutes left. So how many questions do we have? Okay, just a couple. And well, we can just play these questions out, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I get two?
Yeah, are they related? Or are they simple? How about you give them to me and I'll decide, okay?
I'll ask the first one. ¿Tiene algún consejo para las personas que van a tomar el camino de curanderos?
So she asked them, do you have any advice for
Tú
someone
tienes que
take
sentir,
the path of being a curandero?
tienes que sentir.
You have to feel.
Mi maestro Rony decía,
As Maestro Rony
de la ceremonia, mientras que cantaban, las personas me dicen, vamos a ver, ¿ok?
he said, let's go outside.
Tú vas a ser bueno. Qué bueno.
And
Buen
Ronnie
curandero.
came to, Ronnie
Y le
came
digo, yo no quiero ser curandero. Yo no quiero ser curandero. Vas a ser bueno.
So Ronnie took him outside
Yo
one
nunca
time
pensaba ser curandero.
and said to William,
Quería solamente
"You
estar
be
con
a
mi
good
maestro y cantar a su lado, apoyarlo, ser su, bueno,
curandero." And William never
Brazo
thought
derecho.
that. He just was like, you know, I
Ser
go out, I play
curandero
music, I
es
sit
una
outside, that's all good.
es una responsabilidad.
Because it's a responsibility.
Es una responsabilidad. Como digo, tienes que abstenerse de muchas cosas. Ajá. Y me dice, después tú puedes hacerlo ya. Puedes hacerlo. Entonces yo sentí el llamado de las plantas también.
If you feel the call of the plants,
Que las plantas te hablan, en las dietas te hablan.
they'll speak to you.
Sientes ese llamado de
You feel this call,
dedicarte a eso.
then you have to dedicate yourself to it.
Yo he dejado de ser maestro para dedicarme a eso.
You left being a teacher.
A veces cuando estoy en una ceremonia y es muy fuerte, y estoy trabajando en esto, wow, digo, ¿en qué hora he venido acá? Mejor está bien.
You're wondering like, what hour did I come here?
Cuando está fuerte, ¿no?
Yeah.
Wow, ¿en qué hora estoy acá? Wow, trabajo, mejor estoy enseñando a los muchachos.
Sometimes he thinks like, oh
Así
man,
decía mi maestro Ronny, él es obstetra de profesión.
Ronnie was an obstetrician.
¿En qué nos hemos metido? Me dice. Estaríamos en el hospital, viendo y a dormir rico y no estar. Entonces, es una responsabilidad.
It's a responsibility. Your other question?
Hay personas que están haciendo la medicina sin algún curandero. ¿Tiene alguna opinión sobre eso? O sea, están haciendo sus propias ceremonias sin alguna.
Yeah, when you say
So there's people that are taking medicines without a healer. I want to know his opinion about that.
Si se siente que está haciendo bien, bueno, que practique. Porque hay veces que es muy fuerte y hay que saber tener experiencias. Porque cuando está, yo quiero ser curandero, todo está bonito, todo está guau, gracias, porque ha salido muy bonito, pero que te agarre una cosa fuerte. Pasa a veces donde dices, wow, ¿en qué me he metido? Ya no quiero ya nada de ayahuasca. Ahí es donde vas a ver, vas a sentir el llamado, vas a sentir, wow, sí, me he llamado, estoy aquí para ayudar. Entonces muchas veces, muchos toman, hacen su medicina, está bien, que esté bien todo, pero cuando está fuerte, ¿cómo va a controlar? Es muy difícil, sí, pero si lo hace, bueno, va a tener muchas experiencias y va a aprender también.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify the answer a little bit because of context. You know, William has never really spent time here. Like here, we take things casually. There's no one in the jungle, anyone who's drinking medicine on their own and preparing it by themselves. They're people that are feeling the call and answering it in a real way. Versus, I don't think he understands like kind of the idea of people, you know, working with psychedelics just like, oh, I can do it and taking it. But he's saying that if that's what your path is and that's what you're doing, you got to go through those tests drinking on your own. That's what he's saying. Because you and kind of figure out an experience when it's really strong and you have to pass through something. You got to find your way through that.
Porque no todas las medicinas son fuertes.
Yeah, no,
sí, hay suave. Sí, es ayahuasca, pero no toda ayahuasca es fuerte.
Yeah, no, ayahuasca is strong.
Muchas veces he botado mucha ayahuasca, mucha pena porque es como algo nomás.
Yeah, a lot of times ayahuasca is thrown out. It's just not very strong.
Son muy buenas.
Yeah.
Wow. Me
No, when the medicine's really strong, he respects it. So I think we have one more question.
I've got one. William, when you're facilitating an ayahuasca experience, are you interacting with people who are taking the medicine? Such as if someone is, let's say, upset, would you try to speak with them and coach them through it? Or do you take more of a hands-off approach and just hold space?
Is it okay if I just answer that real quick?
That's fine.
Yeah. I think it's kind of hard to describe because that's just not, you don't just talk to people in ceremony and stop and like, let me coach you through this. There's none of that. He's managing it on a higher level with the energies and with the songs. And if someone is having a real severe thing, he'll give them a sopla and work with them. But the plants kind of got it. Like they know what they're doing. And the divinity within a person's own self and their process is what's being worked out. But yeah, so he doesn't stop and talk to people. Although someone's like really having a lot of pain, he'll ask what's wrong. You know, someone's like, oh, my stomach's really bad. You know, he'll help them. But yeah.
Thank you.
We do a final song?
Yeah, última canción.
Yeah.
About the art.
Oh, and yeah. And one last thing, William has a bunch of his paintings here. He brought them, he made them, they're all his, they're in that other room. This is a little gallery, or improvised gallery. Please check them out if you'd like some art. And then I have a bunch of stuff that I brought back from the jungle. Everything except for the caribes was made by people that I lived with, who I really love and care about, and are really beautiful people who live in a really righteous way. And a lot of that stuff they actually sent to me on credit. So like about a quarter of the stuff I bought from them, and then most of what's left over there is actually stuff on credit. So if you buy it, I'm actually sending most of the money back to people, and you really stoke them out because they get a Western Union payment. All right, so thank you all so much. It's been really awesome, and I feel like we ended up talking about so many other things and touched on things, and I mean, these are some big wells, and we'll have some time afterwards where you can come and talk to us as well and ask questions. So thank you all so much. And then William's gonna just crush it a little more. Just crush whatever shells around your heart just a little bit more.
Bueno, voy a cantar, voy a tocar flauta de pan. Después pueden mirar las pinturas. Hay rebaja del precio, solamente por hoy día.
Just for today. William's going to give us one more on the charango, okay?
Antes de comenzar todo esto, sentía mucho nervios. Mucho nervios porque todos me miran. Y nunca sentí mucho nervios, solamente cuando me llamaba la atención mi suegra.
That's the intention of his mother-in-law. I've actually never seen it in my life.
Canción y bueno